welcome in everyone. It's your boy Cinema. Listen, today we have, as you can see to my left, we got Spooky up in this thing. Spooky's one of our main moderators out of here in the Discord. And then below playing some, I think Call of Duty is our boy V. He's in the zone, man. It was last minute interview having V in here. Not interview, forgive me. Last minute kind of a get together, I guess you can say. You can see his hand moving down there, dude. He's trying so hard on COD.
He is so focused right now.
Welcome everyone, though. Again, I am Cinema, the host of this thing. V's out here doing his thing, and Spooky's here. Today for you guys, we have I guess we're just talking about hobbies.
Yeah.
Sorry about pushing back the podcast yesterday. I got busy with stuff. We were gonna do it this morning, and then some more stuff came up, and it kind of was like a constant pushback thing. But we're here, and that's all that matters. You know, really appreciate you guys being here. And this will be going on YouTube, of course, either tonight or tomorrow. Not sure yet. I'm really shooting for tomorrow afternoon. Of course, Cam's using the background. Yeah, of course he is. That's how Cam is.
Look,
he always does that.
It looks nicer than what I would have.
I think it looks good, honestly. It's a very nice little background.
It sits well.
It does. V's got his little fire going in the background. So actually, before the podcast, we were talking about having like a fireplace in here because we weren't gonna have a third guest.
Oh my God.
And I was trying so hard just to get it up there, and I couldn't do it. My brain wasn't working. But we're
Man,
here.
I was about to add an alt account in here.
Yeah, you had the alt account of the stuff. So. But I mean, hey, you know, we're here, okay? And that's all that matters. So I guess to start off the whole thing, let's just kind of roll right into it. This is gonna be a short one. We got things to do. You know, it's Sunday night. We all got work tomorrow. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So V, I know you posted, I think it was in the Discord itself. You have a hobby, okay? Do you want to explain the hobby yourself, or you want me to hop into it for you?
I make bad financial decisions.
Very bad. How many did you? Okay, so
that's my hobby.
So
let's talk about how much you spent today.
Yeah, how much you spend today?
On all of that?
Yeah, on all that.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that
$30
in question? Quote unquote that.
I mean, well, it's put me on blast. I mean, this is my first time back on a podcast in like 2 weeks.
Sorry.
And you immediately want to start talking
Everyone,
about financial
Thank
statuses right
you,
now.
V. Good job.
That's fine. No worries.
We miss you. That's why. We miss you a lot.
We love you.
Megan saw she's seen the tweet. Yeah. Well, I guess the best way, long story short, for my little addiction is that for like 5 years I've been a pop collector. And needless to say, I think right now within my app that I keep all my stuff in,
There's
I think
an
right
app
now
for it?
Yeah, there's an app
Oh my
that you can
goodness.
keep
Oh,
track of
God.
like the current cost, like because I want to see the current cost of what I've got, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
I keep track of the current cost. I think right now I'm like 2,200
What?
in terms of
And that's
in
in
terms of how many
pops?
I've got. Yeah. And think about this too. Crazy part of that is most of what I've gotten, I've only paid full price for like 2 of them. So at like near $2,200 for only paying like $3-4 of them, you can just imagine how many are sitting in my room right now.
Okay, so how many do you have sitting in your room, like right now?
I'm gonna say like 80.
A solid. I think the last time I counted was 128.
And you're just alone in your room right now.
Jesus Christ.
So it's not a hobby, it's an addiction. It's pop figures.
Look, I started this conversation with the word addiction.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
start
true.
this
My strange
I think
addiction.
I got 6 total, and that's it. And they're all Pokemon ones. So I mean, hey, if you're one of them, I'll give them to you. But
I guess if you want to talk about an actual hobby, because that really is a financial addiction. It's one that I need to get away from.
Yeah.
I guess a hobby would be I don't know, probably. I don't do anything but sniff grass and play games. I mean,
sniffing grass is a hobby, is it not? Going outside, touching grass, or sniffing
we'll
grass.
We'll say tech is my hobby in general.
Because you do tech reviews.
Okay.
That's a big thing. I know you like on your YouTube and stuff, you were big about doing tech reviews and all that stuff, and then the break you had, and like we were talking about before, and you've always wanted to do things like that. So you're a big tech head, basically, is all it is. Sniffing grass.
Pretty
is a
much.
fetish.
I'm the TG tech head.
Yeah,
apparently.
and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Tech heads.
I mean, he probably touches grass more than we do.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean,
the only reason I know what grass is because I'm a plumber and I have to touch it.
That's kind of like me, like
okay.
working construction. It's like I only know what grass is because I have to work outside.
Things.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Can't
Yeah,
relate
the
to that.
ATG is able to pay me. I will immediately quit my job. It could even be like
We're-
$5
hey,
for a
look,
Subway sandwich.
I
and I'm
told
gonna
V,
be-
or not told V, I told Lindsay this, like, I think it was a couple days ago. He messaged me, he's like, hey, when we're getting a house for TG, I was like, look, the day I get a house for TG is the day I quit my own job, and it's full time. Like, I am steady for it, and it's got to be steady.
Look, and realistically, like, here's the thing, and this is another addiction of mine. I guess TG is sort of an addiction of mine because even in the time that I was off, I probably shouldn't have been realistically, But even the time that I've had to be dealing with stuff that I've been off, I'm still messaging people like, "Hey, can I do anything?"
Yeah.
Now everybody else at TG knows good enough
Yep.
to not allow me to do that. But I
Yep.
guess like my main addiction for the past like 8 months of my life has been TG.
Hey, look, that's a good addiction.
I mean, there's something
It's
wrong
not a
with
money
that.
pit though. It's not a money pit
Yeah.
right now as of yet. I mean, there's merch and stuff you can buy. Shout out to that. But I mean, it can be a money pit. You know, we speaking of money pit things, we were talking to the Eternal Controller guys that keep messaging me about things. I'm gonna go and throw this out there. It's nothing too bad, but we have a possibility of getting some of our our creators and stuff codes for their controllers. So like there, people can use like code for you V to be like Voliz or Dr. V. Like that would be a code you can use, but that code's still linked to Tilted, so it shows underneath the Tilted roster, all that stuff. But that's, I mean, yeah, TG is pretty much an addiction. I'm right there with you on that. It's a it's something I think about all the time. My wife even like, what do you think? Like TG all the way. Like I gotta think about it. You know, there's things I gotta do all the time for TG. It's nonstop.
That's what's rough. That's how I knew. Like,
It's a commitment.
It's off topic. It's like that's what I say. Like I know it's off topic, but that was the funny part. I think that's like been my addiction over the past however long. Is like now we're so enveloped in it that like people in my life that care about me deeply, like care about
like,
my
what do you-
mental state. They care about my mental
Yeah.
state. They care about who I am as a person, who I'm going to be. Will ask questions. They'll start a question that ended up not having anything to do with TG, but they'll start it with like, "Hey, how do you?" And I'll cut them off, be like, "TG,
TG all the way." No, you know what? TG
like-
coffee mug.
It's my
TG,
lifeblood.
hashtag get tilted.
Yeah,
Like,
hashtag get,
Hey, there you go.
First tattoo is hashtag get tilted. It's got to be. It's like a branding, you know.
oh, it's already got it, bro. It's a foot tattoo. I've already got it.
But
Don't even worry.
tattoo, Jesus.
Already got it.
Hey, you
man.
gotta tweet that. You know you have to.
Yeah, we have to. I'm just
You
gonna
gonna
make a
start
tweet one day about like, you know, put
TG
like,
foot finder.
yeah, not foot finder. Good God, no.
Not the
But
foot
like,
finder.
like
No.
TG tattoo.
I'll make the first post.
You probably could. You
do it.
would.
I'll
TG.
make
I like
It
Becca's comment. Gotta
brings
be
us
on
back
your
to
ass.
TG OnlyFans kind of thing. Get on your ass. Hashtag get tilted. Oh, jeez. Right
That's the
beside
one
the
thing that's
insert
not gonna
coin here
happen.
tattoo. You know, you gotta put them side by side. So V's addiction is, you know, pop figures. I said pop sockets, pop figures and stuff. Ain't no wrong with that. Again, I ain't knocking
No.
it. It's a good addiction. What do you got, Spooky? What are we talking on here?
So I've kind of got like two hobbies right now. One I haven't been able to touch in years, but my primary, I've always had a sweet tooth. And
Go ahead. No, I was just nothing.
no, I was gonna say I've always had a sweet tooth, so I love baking like brownies, cookies, stuff like that. But it's not just from the packaging; it's from scratch. I
So
like doing it.
You bake as a hobby.
Yes.
Like that is
Yes.
Spooky, I won't lie to you. I don't ever see, I couldn't see it. I don't know. Like if you
Really?
told me, yeah, I just don't think you'd be, I don't know. It just never, you never struck me as someone who bakes, I guess. It's kind of the
I
thing.
just don't bring it up much, but I love baking. And I love experimenting with some stuff.
Really, it's like Becca Horror said in chat, and she said, "Cam, question mark, you bake?" That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
I've never even,
I baked my friend Alex. I think it was some either cookies or brownies a while back. Shipped them to her. I've experimented with stuff with. I think it was
Shipped
like
them?
You shipped?
Hold on. You shipped?
to a
Did you
friend.
did you airtight container this thing, or how did
Yes.
that work out?
Oh,
It worked out perfect.
so
she
he
got
knows
it
how
just
to
in
do it. It's not
time.
just like an empty box, like a brownie rolling around in there, like back
I
and
know
forth.
it's
exactly.
I'm not as simple-minded as
Yeah,
that.
I am. I would have thought that. Like, oh, you shipped a brownie. It's like a big box, like one little brownie that you roll
I
around.
knew in that comment
I
the
got
farthest your
her
brain was
a-
gonna go was bubble wrap, and I didn't think that.
Like I got to Dollar
Oh.
General and bought like a small airtight container, put them in there, and
Yeah.
shipped them to her all the way into Arizona.
Oh, in Arizona.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
a
about.
that's a long travel for a.
They were still good. She enjoyed it, and so did her family.
So what would be the one thing that you? Okay, since you're talking about that, what's one thing you don't like baking, and what's one thing you enjoy baking completely? Like what?
One
if
thing
you-
I don't like baking. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
And it could just be that it's a pain in the butt, or you know, it could be finding the
Nothing
ingredients is
illegal.
hard. Yeah, nothing illegal.
Nothing
please.
illegal. I would probably have to say cakes. Cakes can sometimes be a pain in the butt.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
But I love doing brownies. Anything like really
brownies are easy though,
chocolatey.
aren't they? Like I could
Yeah,
probably
but
make a
like I
brownie.
said, I like doing them from scratch.
Yeah, you just broke Becca's heart.
Yeah, Becca said bake me a birthday cake for January. You said I hate making cakes.
I mean, I'll
Well,
bake
there
her one
goes
for
that,
January if she
so-
wants. Because I mean, if her birthday's in January, so is mine. So,
Oh, so it
we
works
can both
out.
get a cake.
So
yeah.
like,
Oh, hey, if you hit her up with some birthday brownies, can we put a little spice and something nice up in there? You know
oh
what I'm saying?
yeah, a little spicy
Ah,
brownies.
I don't know about that because I gotta be
That's
careful with
the-
college dorm
That's
there.
yeah, it's a Tilted Plus podcast talking about baking things the right way. No, so why? Okay, back to the cakes thing. Is there a reason why cakes are hard to do? Is it just because, like, in general, they're a pain in the butt, or
It's fine with the like single layer cakes, but it's like
Mhm.
stacking them and frosting them and
like
all that.
5-layer
Just
cakes and stuff? Basically.
yeah, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Penguin say likes cookie cakes. Have you ever tried to make a cookie? Oh, a cookie cake.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
he
I've done
say
cookie cakes
cough
before.
cough. I know what he means by
My
that.
best experiment was I think I did like a double layer fudge brownie kind of cake
Mm-hmm.
with this was, and keep in mind this is all from scratch.
Yeah.
I made the fudge brownies from scratch and the marshmallow puff and the Nutella because we had like a was it hazelnut tree in the back, so I took all those and made Nutella at home.
You
Made
now what? No, you can't just skip over that you made Nutella at home like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like you just casually say, "I made Nutella at home." Like I love Nutella. First off, I would eat that
it's
stuff out
not
the
that
jar.
hard though.
Like get back to
It's really not.
I'm not saying it's hard, but like who just casually makes Nutella? Like, oh, I'm just gonna.
That's what I was about to ask. I
Yeah.
was like, I get churning butter.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like
I
making
get
like
churning
wine
butter.
or things like that, you know.
I
But
get
like,
making bread. I get dough rising. What I don't get, that's the same level. And I'm gonna ask you a question here in a second that I just
All right.
it'll be my only one for the situation because I'm
Mhm.
honestly I'm fussed. But it's the same to me as like somebody saying I can't believe it's not butter.
yeah, because it's not butter.
So what about Nutella? Did you just like I can do it?
It was really simple and it tastes a lot better than the store brand. I'm
Did
not
you-
saying I made it better, but it just tasted better making it myself.
Did you YouTube it on how to make it?
No. Oh well, yeah, absolutely.
YouTube
I'm
has
not gonna say
everything,
it.
bro.
My
YouTube
God,
has
this man.
everything. And this guy just started
Yeah,
making
no,
Nutella.
I mean you can find
He's like, I'm
anything
gonna
on
try to make
YouTube.
Nutella, and it turns out like perfect, like first time. I just V, by the way,
It was like probably my second attempt, but it turned out a lot better the second try.
V's background was Domino's, bro. I got hungry seeing that. Sorry, it went from Domino's to the fire pit. It threw me off.
But like I stacked 2 fudge brownies, I put the marshmallow fluff in the middle, and then I put Nutella on top, and it was great. You can ask Hunter Darkin, our other content creator. He tried it and loved it, but it was like he said it was too sweet, which I get. And I was gonna try next time make dark chocolate fudge instead of like
I hate dark chocolate. That's one thing I can't.
Well,
do.
it would cut down the sweetness and make it a little bit
hate
more
all
bitter.
the good things in life. Calm down.
Dark chocolate's not good.
Dark
chocolate is not good, bro. If dark chocolate is good, then we have issues in this world.
Oh, he said dark things not good.
Okay, whatever.
Oh,
anyways,
okay.
So back to V on the pops. V, do you have your favorite pop out right now? Anywhere near you? And then the worst one? I know you have 2. I know there's at least one you don't like and you just bought because.
Oh, there's not a single pop I don't like. That doesn't exist.
Okay, well, what's your favorite one? And what's your favorite one? What's your least favorite one?
I'll give you my most recent one.
Okay,
I guess.
Sure, it's like a little show and tell kind of thing, you know. We out here doing.
Yeah,
things.
exactly. I mean, if he's gonna grab his, I can grab mine too.
Yeah. What you? Oh, you get one? Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
yeah, I got a couple of my favorite. Hold on.
Shoot, I don't.
While they're doing that, I really want to, shout out you guys. Thank you for being here.
Okay. I'll give you my favorite one. Okay.
What you got? What you got?
I'll give you my well, not my favorite one. This is just the one I currently like. This is the first. This is the most recent one.
Is that the fries?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Wait, that's the most recent one.
So did you get that one?
I can't say it's my overall favorite.
How
but it's
much
the most
recent
one? This week.
Really?
Also this week one.
So if your favorite one, obviously,
what TJ Maxx pop up.
Oh, TJ Maxx.
The favorite one I have is like yay big, so I'm not gonna get it out
it's
right
a
now.
Big
But
boy
it's a huge one, and it's a scene from Harry Potter with Harry and Dumbledore.
Oh, so it's a whole.
I'm not gonna get that one because it's stuck.
What? The pops are so mind blowing, bro. I see them all the time. Like when I go to like the FYE stores and stuff, and like I always like, oh, I want one, but I know I don't need it. You know, it's kind of a situation.
Dude, all of my FYE stores closed near me. I'm so upset.
What, dude? We have one. And it's so I go in there all the time. And I tell my wife, I'm like, I need this. She's like, no, you don't. I was like, I know, but I want it. It's like,
You're trying to turn into V, basically.
Basically,
it's funny because it's like I said earlier, most of the ones that I buy, like I do basically weekly. I go to either TJ Maxx or Ross because now they, at least in Alabama, they have the carryover from other stores like GameStop and stuff. So they get all the carryover from non-sold items. So the ones that cost like $25, $30, $40, you can get them for like $4 or $5.
So it's like a steal, basically.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I started doing it about 3 or 4 months ago.
That's very interesting, actually.
I think my favorite pop that I've ever gotten so far is the Dr. Pepper one. That's not gonna show.
Nope, it's not gonna show it because your thing's on.
Nope, not gonna show it.
We'll just think.
Yeah, I'll post
it's the
it
dude
later.
that drives he rides the Dr. Pepper thing, right? And he's like
yeah.
Yeah.
They had a contest going on. If you collect a certain amount of cans and then you submit the code, you got a Dr. Pepper pot figure.
Okay, speaking of that, before I get
Excuse me, how did I miss that?
Yeah, I'll say how did V miss that? And secondly, I feel like that's a big thing now. Like with anything that comes out, it's like, oh, collect these cans and send a code in. I mean, Call of Duty's done it for a while. Halo's done it with, like Monster and stuff like that. Like, you know what? I've never won anything. I've never won a single thing from those. I drink Monsters like nothing, like it like water, dude.
Oh, I'm aware. I saw your snap last night of the alcoholic Monster.
Yeah, that was good. That was actually, it was really. It tastes like the 0 cal ones. Basically, it's what it tasted like. I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I had some.
I'm not really a fan of those 0 cal ones.
They're all right. But anyways, back then I just never won anything, and like talking about the cans, I just never really did it. I seen that somebody give us a follow just now. Oh, what's that person's name? I know their name. We play them all the time. Spooky. I'm stuck in here. It don't matter either way. It matters, but.
But I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Either way. Thank you for the follow. I want to say. So back to my hobbies, I guess you guys can joke on me for this, and you guys there it is. Yeah, see that
there
guy.
We go.
Yeah, it's so sweet guy. That whatever his name is. Yeah,
it's a diet Dr. Pepper, but hey, it was still nice to get that.
And V, you missed out on that. How do you feel about it?
This was back in like
financially, I'm great.
2019, I think, when that was out.
Oh shoot! I was about to say if it's 3-4 years back, I was probably in a COD lobby getting pissed off. Is why I missed it. That's
what COD is.
We'll
come out to COD after this because I know me and V, we were discussing COD before we went to the podcast and he was playing.
Oh, you don't have to discuss that irritation.
Yep. Oh, we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it to make some time. Don't worry. I know. I like those. Those are nice. Yep. See, I love that. I need a hobby like that.
That's fantastic.
That's beautiful.
I love these so much.
Well, I mean, what do you mean you need a hobby like that? Just start the hobby.
Like, look at this little chicken.
True. Yeah, but if I start the hobby, I already have a hobby that's already money consuming and time consuming. You know? And I mean,
neither one of those.
You only live once, you know what I mean? So, but my thing is like my hobby can make me money. It's just I have to get to the step of doing it. So my hobby is,
in other words,
drum roll, making candles. So
making candles?
Yeah, making candles. Yeah. It's like you got baking and you got like making candles. You know, it's kind of the same thing, but not. Yeah, I make candles and stuff on the side. My mom makes goat
said I'm
milk.
Still better.
So shut up.
I'm still better.
But
I saw
whatever.
So my mom makes just a little bit.
My mom makes goat milk soap, and like for a while, I was like, well, I want to do something like that. You know, I want to kind of do something other than gaming. And then I created TG, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. And I was like, you know, I need something else. So I created candles and started making candles. And me and my wife have our own little side business going on. You know, shout out to the wife. But yeah, I actually am excited about it because like recently I bought like 6 different scents from this website called Candle Science. No, you know, shout out to them too. But dude, I love it. It's so relaxing to make a candle, and I love candles. I burn like I have like.
I'm gonna say one thing. I never anticipated you to be the type of person to make candles.
Yeah,
like looking at you. I would have never guessed. Just like you were looking at me like, you
TikTok,
bake?
Dude. Like, I used to like make candles on TikTok and like would like live stream it, of course. I've always wanted to stream it like through Twitch and stuff because people like that kind of thing, you know, arts and craft and all that. I just never got to
do like an ASMR.
Yeah, well, I don't know about ASMR. I've tried that before. It's not my thing. Knowing how he is, it fits. Okay, what's that supposed to mean?
Deep
first
dark depths of the past of cinema. You did ASMR?
Yeah. I mean, it's a redemption on my Twitch channel when I'd stream when I was a cool streamer, dude. Like I used to do this ASMR thing and like I'd whisper in the mic for like 5 minutes and like.
You bring me back on the podcast one time. We start talking about you doing ASMR.
Hey, you know what, V? Welcome back again. We really appreciate you being here.
Babe, we just won't have you next time doing that.
No, saying I come on and all of a sudden secrets start getting talked about.
Hey, I know, right? First me baking, oh my god.
And then like
cinema doing ASMR.
And, that too, yeah, ASMR. Yeah, dude, like look, okay. One, don't knock ASMR because it can be relaxing at times. There is some weird stuff I see all the time on TikTok,
there definitely is.
V, you don't act like V, you have the voice and stuff for ASMR. So don't even come at me saying, "Oh, Cinema doing ASMR." Like you have.
Have I ever done it?
No. Have you?
No.
Oh.
just okay, let's lay this out for a second, because this has been discussed so many times. Just because I have, and not just you, but for some reason other people in this organization have discussed my voice in the same sentence of equivalation of ASMR
all the time.
Ain't happening.
I think it should.
I mean,
I think we need to make a Twitter poll,
not.
And a Discord poll. Spooky, by the way, if we should make V do an ASMR stream for about 10 minutes, like something small. You know, let's do something.
Yeah, we
y'all
could
do that.
do
y'all
that.
can do that whole poll,
yeah.
and guess what's still not gonna happen?
You're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
ASMR.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it down. We're gonna have V do ASMR for you guys. It's gonna be like a COD ASMR, so he's gonna play COD, but he can only do ASMR sounds the whole time. So
okay, but Simba, I like Becca's idea of Glenty screaming ASMR.
Yeah, just him yelling into
that,
the mic. If you read horror stories, if you read horror stories, okay, hey, I mean,
dang it.
Wait, okay, no, but hear me out.
You could do storytelling.
That's a good idea, though. I mean, it's
Halloween. What I have is a podcasting and hosting voice. We are not gonna send that into ASMR and whispering.
Story time with V as a podcast.
Chill.
It's coming up next episode, guys. Hang in the time. All right, it's coming up.
People, I mean, if people start donating money, I mean, that's the story.
Someone's not doing $1. I mean, hey, $1 to another pop figure you can get eventually. That's just mean $3 less.
A lot of things I'll do for a Klondike bar.
Oh God, don't give him more pops. He has enough.
Yeah, it's just what a life. V, we've missed you. We talk about you all the time. Me and Lindsay and. Bunny's been out too. Bunny's actually. I know
y'all talk trash.
No, we talk trash. It's just about your COD skills, not you. So Bunny's actually been out.
Have
with
you
COVID
seen
too.
me play Modern Warfare 3? We'll discuss it in a minute, but agreed.
I mean, I heard
trash.
You talking about Modern Warfare 3.
Trash.
But, so I mean, Bunny's not here. Glenzy had things going on. Then you came in. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm glad V came here because we could definitely bully him again. We miss his voice. And then Spooky wasn't here.
I can't bully
Spooky.
Yeah. This is like probably the first interaction I've had.
I think this is the first time you guys ever actually even talked was like Spooky and V like ever being in the same call. I mean, you've got the call before, but
we haven't really interacted.
It was very fun. Glenzy, I'm glad you had fun. But yeah, it's been a long journey. Now, speaking of long journeys and great achievements of ours, how's MW3, V? How do you feel about it? Because I didn't get to talk to you lately. I haven't been talking to you about much. We'd had a discussion about 2 podcasts ago about Call of Duty and all that stuff and what we see the future of and blah, blah, blah. How you feeling about it, V? Go ahead. What you thinking? On a scale of 1 to 10, I think is what I did. And I think we all said like 6.5.
Actually, I'll give it this. I actually think the game feels good. I really do. I think that I want to see what the end result is because there's some small things that apparently they're looking at changing, like the slide canceling. I like it. I think it feels good. Yeah. I think it works well. I think that the little bit of like a buffer between the end of the side cancel and when the gun actually comes up, they're supposed to be taking that out where it's immediate.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see that. I would appreciate. I think it would be a lot smoother. Right now, it kind of feels like a hiccup at the very end of that slide. It feels like a bit of a hiccup, but movement's good. Kill times are so inconsistent. It's not funny.
That's what we were talking about before the pod was kill time. Yeah. I went to go play on Becca's Xbox for a little bit. So when I launched COD, I played a match or so of COD, right? I played it. It was fine. And then I went to go launch it again, and it kept saying corrupted files. I uninstalled it once, reinstalled it, did the same thing. I was like, whatever, I'm done. So my wife was playing it. I walked in there and played a little bit of her. I was smacking kids in her lobbies, not skill issues, you know what I mean? But it felt like the kill time was so inconsistent. It was disgusting. At times,
it's very consistent.
Weird,
but the other thing that's a problem right now is, and like J God and all them have already made videos about this, the actual hit marker registration, and not like in terms of if you hit someone and it makes a hit marker, but the actual damage being done, is all over the place for all the guns right now.
That's what I thought.
They don't. Okay. Nobody really knows if it's like a beta thing because even it wasn't like that in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
things were kind of consistent, but right now, even the same exact builds are just kind of all over the place. And like they did a test about it where each of their shots was doing different sorts of damage, and it didn't make sense. So I don't know if they're doing like I don't know if they're trying to.
You think it's like hitbox registration maybe or something like that? Because
I don't know.
Because I know MW2 season 1 had hitbox registration issues, like where you'd shoot their legs and it'd do more damage than their chest. Or it was some weird little situation. It wasn't.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
it wasn't
it's
very
possible.
long.
I know that I have a good amount of clips where right now that I've gone back and kind of looked at just because I was interested that you can watch people that'll kill you and they are very obviously aiming behind you. And I don't it's farther out than a hitbox would be. Yeah. But it's close range stuff. So I don't know
it
if
could just be
there's
also like a little I can't remember CS:GO they
latency?
call it something. Latency and like a tick or
yeah,
whatever
it's
something
possible.
like that. Yeah, it could be something like that. Oh. I know when I was playing, like I said, like Becca's game I was playing, it was like there were people like running, and like you said, you can see they're kind of shooting behind you, but it's hitting you. It was a really weird thing, and sometimes I felt like I was taking more bullets than what it took. You know what I mean?
Well, see, okay, so he said spectate bug, so I thought that too until I noticed that it was happening to me.
That's what
because I was sitting there and having to deal with because I was playing with a group of people the other day and we were kind of testing some things out, and all of us have various ranges of our connection to the servers.
Yep.
But it was happening with all of us. Like we would sit there and get hit markers on people 2-3 feet outside their head with a sniper, and that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You know, and that's a thing that people have already made videos about. You know, J God and all them, and a bunch of the bigger streamers have already kind of made their accusations already on the game,
which is bound to happen. I mean, it's going to happen every game that comes out with other people playing it. It's bound accusations are going to happen and stuff like that.
But I like it. I think it feels good. It's quick. So, I think that I think it feels pretty smooth.
And Glizzy talked to me earlier. We were talking about it before. He said that he played mouse and keys on it for a little bit, and he said it felt fantastic. Like, I know. Do you play mouse and keys still, V? Because I remember I think you were talking about it before. Yeah. Like, how do you feel about mouse and keys? Because I used to be a mouse and keys player, and then obviously comp-sided COD, I had to pull off mouse and keys to play controller. Yeah. So
multiplayer will never be fun for mouse and key players.
Yes, of course.
I don't know that I've ever, because we're not discussing like Valorant.
Yeah.
And we're not discussing like CS:GO, where if you have a mouse, the accuracy of a mouse is almost a frame by frame thing that can be gotten down. That's not what we're discussing. We're discussing Call of Duty timing.
Yep.
And so in terms of like, if it were Valorant, if it were CS:GO, one of those, Overwatch even, like, okay, yeah, at that point, having a mouse and keyboard is incredible. In Call of Duty, it's never going to work. Yeah. It is never, you are never going to have the ability. I know people that are keyboard mains that because of this game have already switched back over to controller because they played it one time and realized that you're not going to be able to deal with this game.
So that's kind of what happened to me though. Like when I was playing MW2 is like when it was like me, Season, Bluesy, like the original TG guys, we were all mouse and keys at first. I was like, fuck, I read into it. We got to play controller. And I was like, okay, I'll make the switch. At first I was like, controller kind of sucks. There's not enough, my DPI is not strong enough. My sensitivity is not strong enough. And it's like that the weird spot with controllers and sensitivity is like a pain in the butt. But I did catch on to the fact of like controller was kind of overpowered. The aim assist for one was huge. Aim assist, you felt like you had more control.
Is that a big problem in this one?
It's apparent. I don't know. I think it's huge. I was kind of playing with some people. I was playing with Kitchen the other night, and we watched a clip of a dude that it pulled him through. Did see me, but it pulled him through a wall to me and started shooting as it was pulling him across my body, and turns out that he was between here and like my forehead on the map, but it was pulling him to me.
It was pulling him towards. So
really?
It's like how MW2 was, where it's like a setting for like the Black Ops 1 setting or something.
It does that. Like aim assist has been rough.
It's been
while,
brutal for a long time.
I don't know that I want to say that aim assist is some problem, but what I do think is a problem is that we're back to much more close range, quick movement, and I hate to say this. But unless you are one of those people that wants to be every 5 seconds flipping and I say this funnily, but unless you want to every couple of seconds be flicking your entire wrist or arm completely across your desk, which is what you have to do in equivalation to what a controller player can do, it wears my arm out. Like to be able to deal with the snipers and the SMG players that are here now, how quick this is. I don't think you're ever going to see.
Snipers, especially, dude. Snipers, they dog.
So do you think
crazy?
Do you think they prefer to have it game more towards controller players than PC players? Because that's kind of where COD's been.
They're not going to care about multiplayer, but they're going to care about Warzone when it comes to PC players.
Which makes sense.
Because in terms of multiplayer, in terms of multiplayer right now, competitively, I don't believe you're allowed to have keyboard and mouse in the CDL. And in terms of controller wise, they don't have to care what anybody thinks about keyboard and mouse, because right now, in order to deal with the only people that it actually matters what they think is the competitive side when it comes to CDL teams, and all of them are using controller anyways.
Yeah.
So to them, I don't think they're ever going to care. Now, when it comes to Warzone, World Series had people using keyboard, mouse, had people using controllers. I mean, they don't care too much on that side, but that's because Warzone is so much more open of a playing field that really, if your main problem in Warzone is that you can't beat a keyboard and mouse player, it's just a skill issue.
And like
I think a lot of
no, go ahead. You go ahead and go, Spook. I'll cover this.
I was gonna say I think a lot of it comes from Kyle was originally just controller in the older days.
That was the back to what Becca said. She said like she felt like COD's never gone cross-plat.
Yeah.
And now, don't get me wrong. I never thought about getting a PC until I got the military and stuff like that. And it wasn't for COD. It was because I wanted to play more games. You know, we see the games like Squad and Hell Let Loose and things like that. And I was like, I really want to play those games. Especially Arma was my big thing. That was like my biggest process over. I never thought I'd be playing COD on it. You know, and I even had an Xbox for just COD when I first got a PC. But then I bought COD on PC and did mouse and keys and stuff. And I don't know if I can agree with that. But I do see how it's an issue, because then you're not just adapting to one situation, you're adapting to multiple. You know, and that kind of can throw them under a bus.
Like, if we never went to crossplay, then I know I remember it, but the original conversation of, are you on PlayStation or Xbox? Because you couldn't play with people.
Right.
Like back when Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 2, 3, going into those, especially Blackout, you had to figure out whether someone was on PlayStation or Xbox, because certain people you just weren't going to play with.
Even like your friends, like they had PlayStation, you had Xbox, you couldn't play with.
Exactly.
So you just had to deal with it. And so I think cross-platform is great in terms of Warzone. I don't love it in terms of multiplayer, because there's 3 levels to it, and that is people who are on console, that is people who are on a controller on a PC, and then people who are on PC as keyboard and mouse. The fact of it is, though, and Nick Merck said this about this game not too long ago, and he said it about Modern Warfare as well, or Modern Warfare 2 as well, especially in multiplayer, where the ability to peek and see your view of a person pushing you before they can, when you have 120 FOV as compared to the other, and you add a controller with aim assist into that, he said multiple times that is the most lethal combination, is when you add a controller with the refresh rate that's available for a PC with the 120 FOV.
That was the big issue.
If you're running that,
2019, wasn't it? That was the biggest issue.
It was a huge, and it still is. It still is a problem. Now, I gotta say though, it's not one that I've really seen too much in the beta, because a lot of the corner peaks that are available in the beta, I can't say that I really have seen too much of an issue with it. I've not really seen too much of a problem with people being able to see half my body and I can't see theirs. Everything's been pretty visible line of sight.
Yeah.
So which that problem didn't start until the 2v2s.
Yeah, so until 2v2
the 2v2 gunfights.
That was a big issue, and that's brings it back to the whole peeker advantage thing. Peeker advantage was a huge issue back in the old because someone peek a corner and you wouldn't see their body, but they can see you. It's like, how does that even make sense?
Well, 2v2 gunfight brought in a very interesting dynamic that they knew they had messed up on, which was, and everybody remembers the corner it was on because it was where the pillars were on the left side in spawn. You could go and put yourself completely behind that pillar, and that person was going to be able to see the right side of your body. But they couldn't see the left side of your body. And that's what nobody understood was that weird thing, but they never changed. So people started people started changing their gameplay to that, knowing if I peek this, he's going to be able to kill me. But if I peek the other way, I'll have a better event. Like, people started to just deal with it. But
it was
I
a way
haven't
to play,
seen,
is all it was.
I haven't really seen it in the beta. I'm glad I haven't. Everything's been pretty.
Better knock on wood, because it ain't
yet.
Well, and that's why I said I want to see what the ending build is.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few things, including like nameplates. Because right now, when we first jumped on the beta, I couldn't tell who was who for anything.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It was a main issue that apparently if I remember correctly from a couple of different creators, when the original, that private group went to playtest this, the original nameplates and the way that they highlighted your enemy players as compared to your team was a lot different than what we're playing with now. So I think in one of the last updates they did something with, or they're going to do something with the nameplates or something to make it where you can kind of be able to
Probably.
tell,
Do
because
they have the
it's
diamonds in
difficult.
this one? I don't remember. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. Not for enemy players in this one. I don't
Got you.
think.
Got you.
But you know me, I'm a Warzone player. Multiplayer is what it is. I'm really only
Yeah.
on it so that I can kind of see what it's going to feel like, what the kill time's going to feel like. I watched a lot of the Warzone gameplay from when like Spooksy and all them were over there and Nixie were playing it. It looks great. I mean, sniping is back to being viable as what it should be when it comes
It
to
looks a
1-2
lot
shot
smoother.
kills. Oh, it looks 10 times smoother. It looks great. The
Yeah.
map looks very solid. You know, it's not completely Verdansk. It is most of the POIs, but the actual outside design is not completely Verdansk, which I like. They took out the middle being a hill, which everybody has hated the entire time I've known since Caldera. Everybody's hated there being a big old hill in the middle of it. So, you know, I think that'll be pretty good. But really, most of my thoughts are not going to matter too much until we get the ending build with Warzone and then whatever happens with Zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombies is something we'll cover eventually on everything else. But you were going to say something earlier, Spooky, about COD or something, I think.
I know, because back to the kind of earlier conversation when we were talking about like mouse and keyboard and crossplay and all that. I know one of the other biggest issues is with the keyboard and mouse players complaining about aim assist with controllers and all that. So, kind of like, what is your opinion on all that?
I think it's ridiculously broken.
I was gonna say, yeah, aim assist
it's
is
always
broken,
been
without a
broken, and
doubt.
if somebody wants to come in and say, "Oh no, it's not," yes, it is.
No, aim assist is broken.
It
And the argument with that is
absolutely
always
is.
like, well, control or mouse and keyboard players can control the recoil. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like we can just lock onto you. It's like we have to.
Here's the difference. And this, I heard somebody say this. A buddy of mine, his name's Hobo. He doesn't play Call of Duty anymore, but he is an amazing content creator, and he is keyboard and mouse for most of his stuff.
Shout out Hobo.
He made a comment about this that I have told people this ever since then. Yes, I can aim with my arm, but my aiming with my arm takes skill to be good at it. You're using aim assist makes you good.
Yep. I've heard that
it's
before,
two very different dynamics. Yeah. I have to practice and go to aim labs.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Aim labs, dude.
You can turn on aim assist, and I used aim assist in Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
It was ridiculous how strong it pulls. So
yeah,
it pulled to the point where like Jay God and them were making videos about this, just standing in one place and letting it move their gun.
And it would like follow. Yep, that's what I was gonna say. And so, you're talking about aim labs. That's what I used to do all the time. Like when I play mouse and keys when I first got here, like I would play aim labs for like 3 hours a day just so I can get better at mouse and keys and games like Squad,
you have to.
and stuff, dude. Because
like,
you have to because it's so hard to like not,
Well, and that's why people ask me, like, oh my God, they'll see plays that I hit, and I'm like, yeah, because I've been playing for 7 years. Yeah. Yes, I have been on keyboard and mouse through competitive COD for 7 years.
I think we need to cover.
And controllers need it too.
I think we need to cover an episode one day of just like nothing but accusations, because accusations are such a big deal when it comes to gaming in general.
They are.
Like everyone's like. People don't realize that you can have better skill than they do. And they're like, oh no, you're just hacking. Like, no, dude, I've been reported so many times on Call of Duty playing mouse and keys or just even controller. Like, oh, he's hacking. Like, no, dude, what? It's one, it's game sense. And two, I'm just better. Like, it's a skill issue. It's not my fault.
Like Becca made a good point. Like she said, there was a point in time, and she's very true about this, especially when Blackout was a thing. There was a point in time where you could turn off aim assist, and it actually was better, because I remember playing where if you were because again I go back to Blackout because I never really did main multiplayer all that much, but within Blackout especially, we had a problem where aim assist was so strong that it would immediately pull you to the downed player if there was someone else you had to have a gunfight. So I remember it being so strong at that point that most of the people I played with, including myself, turned it off completely, because if not, we got ourselves killed because it was so strong, it was pulling the down players through walls.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And it was destroying us. So, I mean, in terms of that, there actually was a point, I think, where it was better if you turn it off. But now, you've got, because then you have to also talk about, okay, well, then when Warzone came out, then cross-platform came out. Now you're dealing with keyboard and mouse players, and in general, if you can hold a mouse, you're going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that aim assist is, based off of myself and watching videos, I'm not one of those people that hates it. I don't care about it. If you want to use it, go ahead and use it. Have fun. I do think at times I see things that give people kills that will track me through barriers that kind of bothers me a little that's available.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something I'm gonna sit there and get mad at people at. Like that whole conversation, and I've said this in a podcast before. That whole conversation with me is so old. Like it's if you're
it's one of
still
the things you can't help
so
now.
mad
It
about
just,
it,
yeah,
then like
because you
I
can't do
think
anything
it's
about it.
just
It's just with the game.
yeah.
sometimes it takes a little bit of fine tuning to kind of find that sweet spot with
That's
it,
true.
where it's not aiming to headshot, but it's also like you were saying, not aiming at the dead bodies or
Yeah.
down bodies and tracking people through walls.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. Like on this whole conversation, I started competitive on controller.
Mm-hmm.
I was in competitive multiplayer for a very long time. I was in competitive blackout for a very long time. I started a little bit of Warzone actually, a slight bit of it. I was switching back and forth. I will say the switch from maining controller to maining keyboard mouse is the hardest thing I've ever had to do as a
Oh, yeah.
gamer.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh,
It is
So
the
absolutely.
hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I went from playing COD comp mount or controller obviously on Xbox, and it was like for like 9 years I played the stuff, 8 9 years, and then I was like, oh, PC, I'm gonna use PC and use mouse and keys, dude. That was so weird, right? And then I played
Yeah.
that for like 2 years. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to controller, and dude, that was the weirdest thing ever going back to controller, but it felt good, honestly. Like
Yeah,
going back
I
to controller was
remember
really
going
nice.
from PlayStation playing Battlefield all the time on controller to going to
Fucking
PC for my first
Battlefield,
time.
baby.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like the
It's
kind of difference going
yeah.
from being able to move your arm to just moving your thumbs a
Yep.
little bit.
And it's like you
Just
want to move your arm still
Can't
because
do
you're
it.
so used to it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
weird, dude.
I tried one time a couple of months ago. I tried to
It just couldn't get
use
to it.
a controller, and my hand now is
And he just threw
so
the controller. He was like, "Oh wait!"
literally, my hand is so accustomed
Uh,
to being flat and having my thumb down and not
yeah,
moving to when I had to do this and flip my
you
wrist
just
and know that this was controlling like a vertical. I was like, I
there
can't,
is like it throw the controller sideways. Like, wait, that's not how it
I can't
works.
do
I
it.
think
I was
another
like, I
interesting
can't do it.
conversation would be how do y'all hold your controllers? Because I know a lot of people
Oh,
have like
okay.
different
So
grips.
I'm not one of those people who play like this. That's weird. I literally play just simple, just super simple. It
Okay,
always works. I don't have any paddles or something like that. This is a basic controller. That's all it is. But I know people play like they'll do like this little weird like I think it's these two
I
fingers and
can't do
like
that.
Oh
Like
this.
yeah, it's
the
called
yeah the
That
two.
claw
yeah, no,
grip.
that's weird to
Uh
me,
huh.
bro.
That's
I,
that's how I used to play in competitive, like on a PS4 controller. I would play with my middle fingers as my fire and ADS, and then like my third fingers as my back L2 R2 or whatever,
mhm.
and then that's how I would do like pressing, like switching weapons or anything was my index fingers.
I think I would use my like two pointer fingers for the back, and I would kind of like use the palm of my hand for the buttons on the side, and then of
What?
course my thumbs. Yeah, that's how I would
What?
do Battlefield. I would kick ass with it too, and I'd be sniping most of the time.
Dude, Battlefield was the
Exactly.
shit. That's a game that I wish they did not
I
renew.
went back to like I'm talking Battlefield 4 on PS3 days to
Mm,
PS4 days. Yeah.
yeah, that's good days. Cam, back to the Cam, I knew you were a weirdo. Well, I mean, look, we got a little off track about hobby stuff when we got to
Yeah.
COD, but that's fine. I mean, I'm glad we have V in here. Again, I keep saying that. V,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good to have
great.
you here. Spooky, thank you for being here too. We're in the
What
podcast
Oh,
up?
for a little
absolutely.
bit,
I was
so
more than glad to be part of it.
we'll have to get you back here one time. I want to get a podcast where like I think me and Glenn talked about it for a little bit, but have like I think like it was like 6 people in here one time and just kind of have like a chat about the most random thing. Get Tilted Plus is still a thing we're talking about, the podcast for that. Me and Glenn talked about it last week. V, you look like you're about to say something. What are you gonna say? You look
No, I
you
just
look
in here.
sophisticated. I'm not as good as V is at these things, okay? We need to get
I'm
V hosting
watching
these
my
podcasts
fireplace to
again.
make sure it doesn't go back to
Dominoes, that shit was so fun. I was like, oh,
make sure it doesn't go
Dominoes,
back
I'm
to pizza because
hungry.
now I'm really hungry. I've been
Yeah.
thinking
We
about
need to
that for
have
a
Dude,
one of
while.
I've been,
those like
I'm like sitting here talking like I'm really hungry, guys. I want to eat.
No,
we need to have like
y'all are
one of
good.
those midnight conversations where where the VC gets really weird and we're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
it
the most
gets
random shit.
wild. He looks like he's coming up with a diabolical plan. Dude, gosh darn, diabolical
You
plan.
never know.
Yeah, it's true. He needs the cat to pet. Yeah, that dude. I couldn't.
Exactly.
I would lose my mind. But anyways, so before we end this podcast, I'm gonna give a shout out to our sponsors. We do have the Northwinds Coffee Co. Of course, use code Tilted for 10% off. Fantastic coffee, by the way. We got our Alt Customs, which is the keyboards, the mouse, and all that stuff. Fantastic company too. V shaking his head because he wants to fight. We have Eternal controllers that I'm actually going to order a controller with them this week. I talked to the guy about that. We have that. We do have merch, of course, through our store that we have on Streamlabs. Oh, thank you for that, Becca. And I mean, other than that, we're out here, we're vibing, we're doing our thing. V looks like he is literally starving and he's about to fight
For
somebody.
Real?
No, just because I'm sitting here not doing anything, y'all are so used to.
V's thinking
Y'all are so used to me. Y'all are so used to me hosting.
Yeah, it's like I need V's like.
This is my first podcast, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, hey,
I'm about to order some Wendy's after this.
I'm about to get me something. I am starving.
Nah, Cinema's doing just fine.
This is going up on YouTube anyways, so you know that. YouTube-wise, if you guys have a hobby you want to talk about, put it down in the comments below. Okay, I really appreciate that. We'll discuss some hobbies. For next podcast, we don't know who's going to be there. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you guys. These podcasts are kind of like...
We might get the other staff member.
Yeah, you might. These podcasts are kind of like wildfire, dude. They just spread, and then like people show up, and that's it. Like, hey, you're in the podcast. Good luck.
Hey,
we're trying to get better
at... in here.
Yeah, we need to get Becca in here or something like that. I try to get my wife in here because I was like, well, Lindsay's not going to be here. May's not going to be here. I was like, you want to be on a podcast? She's like, no. It's like, I'll get you one day. I'll get you. I will. But Spooky, again, thank you for being here. V, it's good to see you as always. Glad. If you aren't following the socials, please give us a follow on the socials. Actually, I think we have it should be a Linktree tab. How do you do it? Was it Linktree is how he did it? I can't remember what it was. I don't remember. I think it's like Glitch or something like that.
I don't know. Y'all are the staff here.
Glinzy did it. Well, you're staff.
Y'all are the staff.
I bet owners.
We're all staff here.
Y'all are the staff.
I don't remember how he did it. Either way, we have Linktree. Really appreciate you guys. Okay, but with that being said. Spooky again.
Hashtag link, hashtag tree, hashtag link tree. One of y'all's gonna get it right.
It's
eventually.
I think it's links. Ah, look at that. Like a tree link.
There you go, Envy. That's what I'm talking about.
Spooky got any last minute things? Go ahead.
No, not really. I'm just more thank you guys for having me to the podcast. It was a lot of fun.
Here. I'm glad we enjoyed it. It was a good podcast. V, you got anything you want to say? Do you want to do the honors of ending it, V? I know you want to. Go ahead, V.
See, this is what happens whenever I come back one time. Now Cinema's like,
you want to end it? You want to end
it? V, end it. Come on.
What, V?
I got the music going too. I got the soft music.
Well, do you want me to podcast end it the regular way? What you want?
Podcast end it.
Okay. Well, all right. Wait. I appreciate y'all having me back. It's fun. I missed everybody. It's been a good time being back. And now that Cinema is your honorary now host, I will step back into my correct position and allow Cinema to do his thing. But hey, you guys are amazing. I appreciate it. For all the follows, we really appreciate that as well too. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go follow us on the socials. He has put that link in there. Make sure you go to the YouTube. Everything we're going to do here is posted on those socials as well, especially YouTube. So if you missed the middle, first, or the end, you can go back and you can look at that as well. So if you guys are new to the family, the only way you're going to be able to go see this stuff, the only way you're going to be able to go and see the YouTube, see the socials, see the tweets, see everything we're doing update-wise, including merch and any of the notifications or announcements that we have going forward. The only way you're going to be able to do it. And I hate to tell you this, it's just going to suck. It's going to suck if you haven't done it, because I'm about to call every single one of y'all out. If you haven't done it, the only way you're going to be able to be a part of this growing family that we call Tilted Gaming is if you get tilted, baby. Love y'all.
Y'all take it easy.
Much love, guys.